Today is day 3, September 29th, day 3 of my quitting smoking, and I've been doing okay. In the evenings, it seems to get a little worse because by that point I'm stressed out from school and the kids, and I'm tired, and so at that point, a lot of these last few evenings, it's been right out the window. Quitting has just been right out the window. But I also added kind of a new rule. It started yesterday. I go as long as I can in the mornings without having a cigarette. This morning I broke down in a couple of hours. Yesterday I was able to not have one all the way to the point of getting to school. It really helped that I don't smoke in my car anymore. These have been my best friend. Sunflower seeds really help. I was talking to my mom about it yesterday though, and she said my dad also ate a lot of sunflower seeds, and he ended up breaking some of his teeth because of it when he was trying to quit. Something else that's not helping is when I'm at school, most of my friends at school are smokers, and when you hang out with smokers, you're going to end up having a harder time quitting. Somebody else had mentioned that on my Facebook as advice too, to stay away from smokers if you can. But you know, I'm in school, so it's a little more of a challenge to not go out on my breaks and smoke, at least if it hasn't been 2 hours since my last cigarette. When I was in high school, a friend's mom, one of my friend's mom, she quit smoking, and the way that she did it, she figured that she needed something to not only help the oral fixation, but she also needed something to do with her hands. So she would go and brush her teeth every time that she had a craving. This, you know, is something that also lasts as long as smoking a cigarette. So it helped her out immensely. She quit in just a matter of days, easily. And not only did she quit, she had the whitest teeth in town. If I was at home all the time, that is something that I would probably try. When I quit chewing my nails in high school, I was actually jealous of a friend of mine who had really pretty nails, and I chewed mine to the point of bleeding. And so one day I decided I was going to quit, and I would sit on my hands if I wasn't using them. So brushing my teeth every time I had a craving would work out great if I wasn't so busy. I have noticed a huge difference in the mornings though. I have a lot more energy now in the mornings. I don't feel so tired because I'm putting off smoking as long as I can. And I get lightheaded when it's been a while. You know, so throughout the mornings I'm kind of lightheaded, and then when I go to have my first cigarette I get a little bit dizzy. So I'm actually down to smoking about a half a cigarette at a time. So it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of progress because I smoke more in the evenings. So I really haven't cut back. I've just reorganized it. It has definitely been challenging though, because smoking is such a big part of my routine. I get up in the morning, I have a cigarette. I get in the car, I drop off the kids, I have a cigarette. And then I smoke all the way to school. Then I get into the class, I go out for a cigarette break in the middle of class. I have another one when I get out of class before heading to my next one. I have to have a cigarette before I go to bed, cigarettes after meals, you know, and I have meals at certain times of the day because of my schedule. So it is really worked into my routine. A few things that I'm hoping to get from quitting smoking, aside from the health aspects of it, you know, the common sense stuff. I like to sing. I sing in the Easter cantata every year at one of our local churches, and I used to sing a lot of solos, and I'd like to get into that again, but I know for a fact that smoking has destroyed a lot of my singing voice, and I'm hoping that I can get that back. Also, my son is very active, and now that I have 2 kids, trying to run around with them outside and play outside, and I get short of breath way too easily, and that is really frustrating. I got another kind of neat story that has to do with quitting smoking. When I was going to school out at Mitchell Tech, my psychology teacher was a professional hypnotherapist, and she offered everyone in the class to hypnotize them and kind of do it as a demonstration in class to help them quit smoking. But there was a catch to all of this. Before doing so, you have to write her a $300 check, and if she catches you smoking or even hears about you smoking, she was going to cash the check. If it worked, you had a free hypnotizing. Now, she did this, at this point, this was about 7 years ago, and at this point, she said that 6 years ago, she gave her husband that same offer, And then she showed us the check that was still sitting in her drawer. So it does work. And the deal with that is she hypnotizes you to believe that when you have a craving, all you have to do is take a deep breath and the craving will go away. So sometimes, especially like when I'm in the car, I go ahead and I take that deep breath, and it actually helps for a little bit. Granted, I'm not hypnotized, so it doesn't help very long, but it kind of helps you push it a little bit further. I had a massive migraine this morning too, and my mother and I were talking about it. We think that there's a possibility that smoking has caused my migraines, because the nicotine will constrict your blood vessels. And I know that migraines are when they're enlarged, but I'm assuming that just messing with my blood vessels like that is probably causing a lot of that problem. And I know for a fact that I didn't start having migraines until about the point of me starting smoking, back when I was about 16 years old, 15, 16 years old. A lot of people's experience is that you gain weight when you quit smoking. Don't fear that. Don't worry about that. What a lot of people are doing are substituting their smoking with unhealthy snacks, potato chips and stuff like that. So it gives both their hands and their mouth something to do. So you just have to keep in mind to either eat healthier snacks or don't use that. Do sunflower seeds or gum, or find something to do to distract your mind, or maybe a craft or something, or like I said, brush your teeth. But do your best not to eat snacks, and that's been hard for me too. I just want to sit down and eat all the time. If anybody else has any tips or ideas or stories, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And if any of you out there, because I noticed that I'm getting an awful lot of views on the first video, on the getting started quitting. So if any of you are quitting with me, go ahead and mention that too, or send me a message or whatever. Good luck to you, and wish me luck too.